What separates the noobs from the elite in video games is a mastery of the meta. Figuring out the game within the game can give you a massive advantage over others and lets you stay ahead of the curve. Minecraft's meta changes lots year on year, and it's always worth keeping up to date with the newest tricks, tactics, and strategies to remain on top. The question is, how good do you reckon yours is? Get ready to take some notes. Subscribe if you like what you see. I'm Simply Sark, and I'm about to show you what we call in this business some pro gamer moves. We're going to begin down in the caves. Now, if you've been playing Minecraft for any number of years, you've probably heard a ton of conflicting opinions on what the best way is to find diamonds. Some players swear that strip mining like this, where you leave a 2-block gap between tunnels, is king. There's even a more modern version of this, where you use a trapdoor to start crawling, so you can tunnel in a 1x1 footprint, even more efficient at uncovering diamonds. But the reality is, the best way to find diamonds is often to just run around in caves, because they're sort of just lying around uncovered. The question is, how do you find caves legitimately? Is it possible to make a cave detector? There's lots of ways you could approach this, but my first thought was, and I thought I was so clever for thinking this, the dragon egg. This block, arguably one of the most useless in the game, has one saving grace. It can teleport around 15 blocks away from itself when you click it. If there are any empty air pockets around, i.e. caves, it'll warp over to them. So this can find caves, but it can't tell you where they are. Dragon eggs leave this little particle trail when they teleport, which you'd think was an indication of what direction they went in, but no, it's just a meaningless lie. Another thought I had, and this one actually does work, was bells. When you ring them, they highlight raid mobs, and witches, interestingly, count as raid mobs. So you can see that a witch has been highlighted, which means there's a cave within 32 blocks. Now, this works quite well if there's a witch, but the downside is witches are a pretty uncommon mob, so the likelihood of there being one around is a bit slim. But even still, it's worth carrying a bell on the off chance there is. This is a solution, but it's not my solution. Admittedly, my one is a bit weird, but once you've got it set up, it's actually pretty solid. This requires a few things. You're going to need a boat, an enderman sitting in said boat, a bow, some snowballs, and a spectral arrow. You might be able to see where I'm going with this, but allow me to explain. Endermen in boats can't actually teleport, but they'll happily try. What you want to do is shoot the guy in the face, and he'll get the glowing effect. Even though the Enderman can't teleport, he'll still locate valid areas, i.e. caves, and make an attempt, but he'll instantly be walked back to his boat. This means we can actually preview where he tries to go. If we lob a few snowballs at him, which he can't be hurt by, he'll flit between the two locations, uncovering the whereabouts of any nearby caves he finds. What I really like about this is, once you're done, you can just hop back in the boat and travel down your tunnel to go and find more caves in some other area. Next, we're going to look at fishing. Fishing is one of the most popular pastimes in Minecraft, not because anyone wants fish. In fact, getting fish is considered a massive failure, but because you can get tons of great loot like enchantments and nautilus shells. Now, what if I told you there's a secret trick you can use to get more loot in even less time? You might be under the impression that fishing is random, but this isn't entirely true. The game doesn't pick how long you wait on the fly. Instead, it's predetermined the moment you start fishing. Let me give you a quick rundown on how it works. When you cast a line, the game picks a random number between 5 and 45. This is how many seconds you wait until the fish bites. This is altered with the Lure enchantment, where every level decreases the wait by a set period. Lure 1 shaves off 5 seconds, Lure 2 10, and Lure 3, the maximum, reduces the wait by 15. So if the game picks 37 and you have Lure 3, your actual wait time will be 22 seconds. The thing is though, if the game picks between 5 and 15, you actually get an instant hook, because Lure 3's 15-second reduction will decrease any of those numbers to 0. In real-world terms, this means that you have a 25% shot at getting an instant hook. 1 in 4 attempts will result in this on average. So what does this mean for us? Basically, it makes a lot of sense to abandon any attempt that doesn't result in an instantaneous hook. Think of it like this. The game picks 45, the worst possible draw. This is reduced to 30 with the lure, but that's still a 30-second wait time. In 30 seconds, you get 1 piece of loot. But imagine if you recast the line every 2 seconds. There's no penalty for this in durability, and instead of 1 attempt at loot, you get 15. If every 1 in 4 attempts succeed at an instant hook, that's almost 4 pieces of loot compared to the single piece you'd have gotten if you'd waited around for the 30 seconds to pass. This is of course a favourable scenario, but it really highlights the major downside to AFK fishing. The machines can't determine when the fish is coming, all they know is the moment the bobber has a bite. AFK farms are actually really inefficient in this sense, because in our scenario, they just wait out the 30 seconds. In the meantime, the human, who can see the particles, can scoop up much more loot in the same time frame because they can adjust their strategy depending on what they're seeing. Try it out. It might feel a bit weird cancelling a session that could be only a few seconds away from getting hooked, but overall the chance at instant hooks outweighs the risk. How long you want to wait is up to you. 1 second before abandon, or maybe even up to 5, it depends on your risk tolerance and where you reckon the sweet spot lies. You might have heard something about our next trick, but there's an application for it you would have to be insane not to use. So foxes are a new mob that have a surprising amount of little tricks up their sleeves. What we'll be focusing on is their ability to pick up items. They like food a lot, they will eventually eat any they find, but they can actually pick up any regular item. Strangely, many items that have special powers can in fact be used by the fox, as if they were a player. Totems of Undying will protect the fox in case of death, and this also extends to enchanted tools. If a fox is holding an enchanted sword, those enchantments will likely activate when the fox uses it. I hope you can see what I'm getting at here. The most interesting enchantment here is, of course, looting. Any mob the fox defeats will drop their base loot, but also any surplus the looting effect triggered. This has a big effect on one particular farm, the automatic chicken cooker. Unlike most animal farms, chicken cookers can actually run fully autonomously. Up to this point, the looting effect required a player's presence, but we now can automate even that. With the simple addition of a looting fox to your cooker, you can instantly increase your yield by practically 3 times, without really doing anything at all. This can also be applied to other areas, such as autonomous fish farms, where foxes will hunt the fish and can even cook them with a fire aspect sword. Trusting foxes actually have the capability of attacking any mob that harms the player, which opens that door even wider. A true pro-gamer move if there ever was one. I can guarantee, with a special kind of certainty, that you're going to absolutely love what I'm about to reveal to you. In complete honesty, I was legit torn on whether I should tell you this or just jealously guard it for myself. I would have been happy, but I'm just too nice. Crossbows. Initially, I thought crossbows were a bit redundant. I mean, we already have bows, and I couldn't really see what they offered that wasn't already covered. I was wrong. Crossbows can do some cool stuff. The first thing, which you might have noticed yourself, is that crossbows can store charges. Once loaded, they can instantly release an arrow, something regular bows cannot do. Because of that, it actually makes a lot of sense to carry multiple crossbows at the same time. Why? Because with enough, and if you're quick-fingered, you can output a massive amount of damage very quickly. A crossbow array can shoot arrows quicker than a regular bow could ever dream of. To make matters worse, welcome to piercing. This awesome enchant makes every arrow a magnitude more lethal. There are 4 levels, and each level essentially increases how many times the arrow can pierce through a mob. With level 4, you can hurt 5 mobs all with 1 shot. Let's be conservative and say we have 3 crossbows at the ready. Not too many, not too few. With piercing 4, we can create 15 damage events in mere fractions of seconds. Absolute carnage. Compare this with regular bows, and they're truly left in the dust. But here's the thing, that's very cool, but it's not actually the main event. Consider it a nice little warm-up. What I'm actually going to show you is so good, some might argue it's an exploit. What makes crossbows and piercing so good is when you introduce tipped arrows into the mix. So tipped arrows are basically 1/8 as strong as the potion from once they came on a time scale. An 8-minute potion converts to 1 minute in arrow form. Unusually, because piercing can get through 5 mobs, this potion effect can also affect 5 mobs. But it's not diluted. Each mob receives a full dose, which means you can get 5 times the length of the original potion. If a brewing stand can make 3 potions in each batch, that's 24 minutes on certain potions. This makes 24 arrows with 120 damage events, so you create 120 minutes worth of potion time versus 24 minutes in potion form. But there's another thing. You can actually get infinite potion time. If you shoot yourself with a piercing crossbow with a tipped arrow, something odd happens. The game creates a damage event, gives you the potion effect, then drops the arrow on the floor. And it can be picked up, because it still has 4 hits left in the tank. This can then be infinitely reused in 1 minute intervals. As mentioned, this is exploit territory, so don't be surprised if it gets patched. That said, there's one more thing you should know about that's a little less likely to get patched. If you use that previous trick and hit 5 creepers with 1 arrow, you can actually leech the effect from them. Ignite them with the flint and steel, and on explosion, they release an area effect cloud that you can soak up yourself. If you don't want to be the creeper dragonborn right now though, you can just store the remaining vessels in the nether for devouring at a later date. So I've seen a lot of Minecraft tier lists lately. In fact, I even saw a Minecraft food list ranking the best and worst foods in the game. This got me thinking, what is the best food in the game? Now, if I asked you, you might say steak, or rabbit stew, or if you're a particular boffin, you may even say golden carrots. But it's actually something quite unexpected. Watermelon. Alright, it's not watermelon. It's actually chorus fruits. Perhaps you're thinking, what? No, it's not. Why would you lie to me like this? But it's true, and it's not for some gimmicky reason like, oh, it can teleport, so that makes it the best. Chorus fruit can do something that nearly no other food can. Because it has a special teleport ability, you need to be able to eat it at all times. Unlike other foods, chorus fruit can be eaten even if your hunger bar is full, and this makes a big difference. Minecraft has 2 hunger bars, the one you can see with the shanks, and a secret one called saturation. They both have a max capacity of 20, and saturation controls when the main bar starts to decline and how quickly you naturally regen health. The thing is though, depending on how you play, you'll often never actually have a full saturation bar. This is because you need to eat multiple items to get the max of 20. Golden carrots, with the highest saturation of around 14, require you to be down to 16.5 shanks to be able to eat 2. Steak, with a saturation of around 12, requires you to be down to 15.5 shanks. If you're any higher than those numbers, you can only eat 1 and you'll be unable to get back up to 20. Generally, it's a bad idea to drop below 8.5 shanks, as this is when you stop regenerating health naturally. Of course, with chorus fruits, this isn't a problem. You can shove as many as you want in your gob. Now, chorus fruit only offers a bit of a weak 2.4 saturation, which means you'd need to eat 8 to get back up to 20. So the best strategy would be to eat 1 steak followed by 3 chorus fruits. Maybe you're sitting there thinking, this isn't worth the effort, it doesn't really matter. So let me demonstrate in real terms why it's a big benefit to maintain a high saturation level. Here, we are much higher than is normally advisable. If I jump, this is going to take me down to a mere half heart. I'm going to show you the difference in recovery time between no saturation, incomplete saturation, and full saturation. Let's try full health, full hunger, but 0 saturation. This takes us down to half a heart, but all in all we only regen to a measly 1.5 hearts. Awful. Now let's try the same, except we'll eat some steak, taking us up to around 12 saturation. This is better, and in the end we got back up to 6 hearts. After chowing down on some chorus, we're now at the full 20 saturation. This one was wonderful, and brought us all the way back up to 8.5 hearts, 2.5 hearts more than had we just eaten the steak. You might find it a little annoying how chorus fruit teleports you, but there is a way to cancel this out. Chorus won't warp you into bodies of water, so if you just hang around in a pond, river, ocean, or pool, you can eat the chorus without moving anywhere. So what should you take from this? Should you toss out all your food supplies and invest your life savings into a chorus farm? No. You don't need to change much at all. You can still eat the foods you want to eat, but it's definitely worthwhile keeping some chorus fruit on you. If you're about to head into a fight or a dangerous situation, chow down on a few chorus fruits before you jump in. It might just be the difference between coming out alive or getting a game over screen. If you didn't already, you've now been armed with a bunch of new tactics to get ahead of your peers, from finding hidden caves to getting infinite status effects. If you want to let them in on it too, send them this way so they can improve their meta as well. I certainly hope you found these useful. Let me know if you knew any of them or if you learnt something new. But that's it for now. Thank you very much for watching. I've been Simply Sark, and I will catch you in the next one.